Hi, welcome back to Writer's Corner. Today we have Liesel Meminger and Max Vandenburg. So, you guys, what are your current whereabouts?
Well, actually, recently I've been traveling a lot because after being confined for so long, I just feel like traveling makes me feel free, and it's just something I really enjoy.
Good.
Yeah, after the war, I actually moved to Australia. I now live there with my wonderful husband and 2 children, and we are very happy together. So yeah, I believe I needed a new start after the war and after everything that happened. So Australia's really been the place that I can do that. So.
Good for you guys. So, how's the world different now than from what it was during the Holocaust?
It's a great question. I think the world is a little less trusting now. I think people live in fear, and we're more cautious of the government, I guess you could say, and how society is. So I think people are we're a little bit more cautious.
I definitely agree. Although the world has much less suffering today than it did during the time of the war, I believe we take for granted many things. For example, my kids personally, I'm very grateful that they do not have to grow up in the time period and the time period that I did myself, but I do want them to appreciate what they have a little more.
So, are there any events that are reminiscent of what occurred during the Holocaust?
I think the closest thing is probably the Japanese internment camps that happened in America around the same time. I think that, in a way, the American government made its people fear the Japanese, similar to the way that Hitler made the German people fear the Jews. So I think that's probably the closest thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe that nothing will truly ever compare to the Holocaust. Just the devastation and the terror that it produced. I don't think anyone or anything will ever truly compare.
Let's hope not. So, have you forgiven Hitler and the Nazis? And do you think you'll ever be able to?
I can't really say that I've reached full forgiveness for what's happened, but I know that holding on to the bitter feelings won't really take back what's already happened. But I think that I can find a little bit more forgiveness for the Nazis because Hitler obviously had so much power over them that they lived in fear of him and they thought that what they were doing was the right thing. So, yeah.
Okay. To say that I'll be able to completely forgive and forget what Hitler and the Nazis did, I believe would be unfair. I think as a whole, as human beings, we need to always remember what happened just to ensure that it doesn't happen again, because there were such devastating events that took place and they'll leave scars forever.
So, what is the most inhumane thing you have seen or experienced during the war?
Probably just my treatment in the concentration camps. A lot of it I don't like to think about because it was so terrible and I don't like to talk about it a lot, but it was really disgusting and unfair what happened to us, so yeah.
To narrow it down would be really hard because there were so many terrible things that occurred during the war, but 2 really important ones for me were when my father, Hans, was beaten by the soldiers. That just broke my heart, really hit me hard. But also when you, Max, just the way you were treated, that should never have happened. That's just so inhumane, and that those 2 really affected me really hard.
Some tough times. Why do you think so many people stood by and allowed the Holocaust to happen? Why did no one step up and do something about it?
I think the basis of it is just fear, because supporting Hitler meant putting your life in danger, your family's life, because with Hans and Rosa, just having me meant that their whole life was just engulfed in fear. So I think that's why no one did anything.
I agree with you, Max. I think so many people were very fearful of not only their own lives, but what could happen to the people that they loved. But also, I believe a lot of the world was ill-informed and didn't know the severity of the events that were happening. So I think just the fear factor, but also just like the lack of knowledge that they had on what was truly going on.
Good points. Do you think the Holocaust was avoidable? If so, what could have been done differently to prevent it?
Unfortunately, I think that certain events in history allowed the Holocaust to arise with much more ease than it would have at another point. Obviously, Germany was in a tough time and they were looking for a leader, and Hitler's promises seemed almost ideal to the people. But unfortunately, I just kind of wish that perhaps other nations could have seen what was happening sooner and could have stopped it before it reached the extent that it did.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that we were all a bit too naive I don't think anyone really knew how bad, I don't think anyone could have imagined how bad it was going to get and to what extent it was going to go to, and by that time it was already too late. But I think fortunately now we do have the tools, we have the resources, that if something were to come up like this again, that we would be able to stop it before it got that far. So.
Whose words have personally impacted you the most?
Hitler's words have, actually. I think that just his hateful speech and heinous language towards the Jews was obviously so powerful, and also it was powerful because it made people actually think that we're the evil ones. So I guess his words just made me realize that words can be so powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, it was definitely Hans. He was just always so loving and patient with me, and his words always expressed love and compassion, and I carry that through my everyday life still today. But he also taught me how to express my own words, and that really helped me throughout my life and writing my own stories. Also, Max, you were a really important part in my life in shaping the woman I am today. Your words really taught me the power of friendship, and especially when you gave me the Standover Man, I learned the power of words and how impactful they can be. So thank you for that.
So, Liesel, how does your book, The Book Thief, explain your journey and help you overcome hardships?
I believe that The Book Thief was my coping mechanism in a way. When I was younger, I had a really tough time dealing with my emotions. Just everything I went through just like kept piling on, and I could never catch a break, it felt like. So just writing all my thoughts and feelings down, writing my story just really helped me to deal with those emotions that I never really resolved back then.
So, do you still write?
Not as often as I would like to, but I stay very busy with a lot of other things. Right now I'm actually part of a nonprofit agency that travels to third world countries, and basically what we do is we go to schools and other buildings and we paint. So in a way I'm kind of doing what Hans was doing, and I just like having that connection. But yeah, I wish I did write more because I really find a lot of joy in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, as I was saying before, writing is kind of my coping mechanism. And I write about everything. I write about the big moments, such as my wedding and my children being born, but also even the smallest moments, like the simple ones. Like, I make a pot of tea every Sunday morning. I love writing about that. I have some really good poems about that. But yeah, I love expressing myself, and writing is my way to do that. So yeah, every day. I believe to stop writing would be to stop living, and my life is far from over. So.
Well, we're almost out of time, so I'd like to thank you for both coming here.
Thank you.
With me.
Thank
It's very
you.
interesting, very informative.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you very much.
So really nice stuff. Okay. So how has the world differed from now? No. So how does the world? How is the world different? How does the world different? Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Internment camps that happened at the same time
Mm-hmm.
during World War II. We're gonna start over.
Okay.
I'm so
We're gonna start
sorry.
over.
I
Okay, I can't make eye contact with you guys.
like look.
when
I
I'm doing
know.
this.
I like
Okay.
look at your shirt.
You have to just like look. Have you forgiven Hitler and the Nazis? And if not, will you ever be able to?
I didn't look up this question.
Oh. That's okay. We'll
Okay,
just
no,
let
I'll
me
do
go
it.
for a second.
They weren't like.
Have you? Kaboo.
Austin, there were such.
Max.
Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry.
I agree with Austin.
I agree with Austin. Okay. Only scars. Okay, I got it. Okay. Finish the coffee. Or the tea. Oh, okay. Also, with Max, just the way that you were treated, that just really, it hit me hard, and I. Okay, so.
I think the base of it. Nope.
Wait, is this recording?
Yes.
No!
One more time. Sorry, can you repeat that question for me?
And power. I'm so sorry.
Australia.
Liesel Meminger created Tim Hortons.
Travels to third world.
Total.
Bring the whip around. Nay.
A non-profit agency that travels to third world. Why me? I'm talking too quickly. That's what it is.